Morning, intuitives. Another busy day of going through things, some of which can get emotionally heavy. This whole thing I'm going through is really quite a drain. Got to find a new job too, because I was supposed to start Monday, 4 10-hour shifts a week. And now it's, well, we might need you 12s and we need you on Fridays too. And it's like, I got stuff to sell, a house to sell, responsibilities as an executor of an estate. I got to find out where I'm moving to. Like, I don't, I'm not saying I can't work, but I can't be working 60 hours a week. I'll never get any of this done. There's just not enough hours, and I'm not going to kill myself at a job that's just a paycheck that I only intend to have a few months because I'm not sticking around in the area because I have no reason to. My family, for the most part, is moved away or dead. All of my good friends from growing up, with the exception of one, is gone, and he's a workaholic accountant, so I rarely see him. I don't like the culture of this place. I never did. Ironically, this is the one place, and I've lived a lot of places where I struggle to, have a love life. I don't anywhere else I've ever lived. It's something with the culture here, and it infects other people because I thought I was in the clear because the last girl who was pursuing me, who I fell for, was from a different state, but yet she fell right into the what I call the Chestertology stuff. So it's quite funny. I just don't belong here. Yeah. So now that my little rant's over on that, because I was, I found like my grandfather's military stuff, and that was pretty cool. I have to get that up to the VFW where it belongs, because he was the post commander. I want to find a way to, put his shadow box and his post commander stuff and his flag up there, and I know just how to do it. Yeah. I'll tell you. So back in college, my academic advisor, who was local from the area, he got us turf guys to fix up the American Legion's baseball fields because they were in disarray and they couldn't afford to have them repaired professionally. But we're professionals. We're professionals in training. We were all in, going to college for that kind of stuff. And college guys like to help, and all of us respected the military and wanted these guys who served the country to have a nice field to watch most of them was their grandkids playing, because these were mostly older men hanging out there. And we basically said, hey, if you buy the material, the materials we need, we'll give you free labor. Just when we're done, give us lunch and free draft beer. And that's what we did. So I'll try to do the same thing at the VFW, round up some volunteers and be like, this is the materials you need. I'm trained to run projects like this. Give me labor and give us burger and draft beers when we're done, and you'll have the nicest VFW fields in the area. Oh yeah, and put this stuff on the wall. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, it'll be a few months away. It's projects like this you don't do in the wintertime. It'll have to wait till March. Ground's too hard. But fixing baseball fields, yes. Football fields too. If you're wondering anyone's wondering if you're interested in turf stuff, if you're wondering who my mentor was, it's Andy McNitt, who is the sports turf expert in the United States. Any new field that was built in the past like 15, 20 years, like the Steelers, Eagles, whatever it is, he consulted on it. Like, he is the sports turf guy in this country, and a soil physicist. That's why he was my academic advisor, because in addition to being a turf major, I was an environmental soil science minor, and I tried to get deeper into that and was offered grad school. But that's a story for another day. Enough about my past. So, INFJs, we have trust issues. Everyone knows that. Those elusive INFJs, especially those INFJ men, they're so unlike other men. They're not looking to hook up. They're hopeless romantics, but they have trust issues, and they have a high sex drive, which may or may not draw in succubi if that guy also happens to be a witch. But that's a me problem. So, trust issues. Now, does that get better with age or no? The answer is no, because introversion, INFJs in general, do open up more as we get older. We become more ambiverted than introverted, but trust issues actually get worse. And I'm going to make this video now about why that is. So here's the thing about INFJs. We're very deep, we're very soulful, we're very philosophical, and of course intuitive, but everybody knows that. So we are not surface level people, we're not materialistic. We want that deep, soulful connection with somebody. The problem is, a lot of us when we're younger, we're different than the quote regular people, and when you're younger, you're more introverted, and that causes us to like crawl into our shell and be very wary about who we trust. Even the people that want to get us to open up, we always try to assume, we always assume the worst for some reason. So we assume like this person's trying to get me to come out of my shell just so they can hurt me. And we'll push them away, we'll stonewall people because betrayal hurts us deeply. We're very selective of who we open up to. So when one of those very lucky people betray us, it hurts more than the average person. Like, especially if it's somebody we love. We're not the kind of people to open up and be like, wow, I really like this person and I want to be with her or him. I'm going to say her because, I'm me. And we're mainly talking from my perspective. So that makes us leery the next time, because it's not just like, oh, well, there's a hot girl right over there. I'll, get her in bed by the night and it'll be all over. No, doesn't work that way. Even if that hot girl strips naked and tries to jump you, that has happened. Still didn't get me over who I was hung up on. Ooh. But, yeah. Nor do the succubi, but they don't take no for an answer. So every time we get hurt, it makes us less inclined to open up because we remember that pain. And as I said, with narcissistic abuse too, the pain with trust issues like abuse is cumulative. So every time it happens, it reminds us of all the times it happened before. And we try to learn from it, and we try to look for signs, and we try to be even more open the next time about who we are, what we're about, what we want, and if that other person who's asking us to open up is on the same page, and try to establish if that person can be trusted via your intuition, and if they have a pattern of lying and deception, because we can usually pick up on that. So that's kind of how it works with INFJs as we get older. That's why it's very important for INFJs to understand they're an INFJ and what that means and how that makes us, different from most people, and, that we're rare. So it's going to be rare, it'd be very rare that you have another one that in your life that you can relate to. But now in the days of channels like this, it certainly helps to get validation from people who are brave enough or dumb enough to get on camera and start running their mouths about this kind of stuff, because it helps others, but it can also make you a target. Time will tell. So as we age and we've been hurt multiple times, we're more leery to opening up. And as I said, we're more cautious, and we've learned how to ask more questions, be more upfront than we were before, to try to minimize that issue and to try to truly see, hey, is this person the kind of person I'm really looking for? Because our all or nothing syndrome, especially when you get to a certain age, INFJs, yeah, especially romantically, what you're looking for, and if that person who's trying to get close to you doesn't fit that criteria, you're just not gonna open up. You're just not, because we're not the kind of people that be like, well, I don't really like this person, but she's okay, and I don't want to be alone, and we can have a little fling. No, you don't. If it's not somebody that you could potentially fall for, you're just not going to bother, because what's the point? It's better to be alone than to be with somebody you don't really want to be with. A lot of people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I stand by it, and I've been tested for every mental illness in the book. Goes hand in hand with having a borderline mother's projection, and more clinically, all the fire departments I applied to over the years. Very, very intense psychological testing battery you must endure, and then polygraph. And those are always fun. So it can be especially frustrating. You get to a certain age with an INFJ, and someone's trying to get close to you, and you see, like, yeah, she's my type, can't deny it, and you're upfront about everything, which you want and all that, and she seems to be, and she's even telling you stuff about her past, and you're like, oh, that's not stuff you normally just volunteer. That'd be a later on thing, so you appreciate that, because like, that's a sign of honesty. You two of you have a conversation about red flags and about what other people have not liked about you in past relationships, so it seems pretty good, right? Well, you gotta watch out for that. Is that person a person of free will, or are they the kind of people that let other people run their lives? I didn't think of that last time around, so something to watch out for. But my main point is it gets harder. And the reason that is, as I said, is because that pain is cumulative. So any little sign that someone can't be trusted, we're going to back off. We're going to back off, especially if it's the other person who's pushing us to open up because we're afraid of getting hurt again. Because again, it'll just bring back the memory of all the other times. What's the point of coming out of your shell for someone's like, it's okay, you can trust me. And then for you to go, oh, I can trust you. You're awesome. And then as soon as you're fully out of the shell and you're like, I can trust you, I want to hold you, and they stab the knife in your heart. That's why I picked that thumbnail. Isn't it awesome? Because I've been in that situation more than a couple times. And that's what it feels like. You know, you when that happens to an INFJ, especially if it's like right after we fall for somebody, we ask ourselves like, why did I bother? Why is this person so evil? Why did they, because I mean, things cannot work out over time. That's different. I'm talking like you're in a situation where it seems like somebody pushed the INFJ to open up just to hurt them. That really messes with us. Like that messes with you more than a relationship that didn't work out, because you discover things over time and people drift apart, and there's other factors in people's lives that can cause a relationship to fall apart. I'm talking in the instance of the other person was the one who wanted the INFJ to open up. The INFJ opened up, and then that person hurt them and didn't give them a fair chance. And then the INFJ is like, why? Like, why did this happen? It's not about like wanting to change the outcome. It's about the why. Like, I told you what I was about, and you said that's what you wanted. And I was still leery, and you pushed me to open up and fall for you, and I did. And then you hurt me. Why? And it's maddening. So after a couple experiences like that, it'll cause an INFJ to be even more cautious about opening up, because some things you get desensitized to as you get older, pain, losing jobs, losing friends, calling out narcissists. You become less afraid to do things the more you do them. The emotional pain of falling for somebody romantically and having them coaxing you to open up only to shoot you down right after they pushed you to fall for them, that doesn't get any easier. That hurts like hell every time. And it makes you feel like an idiot, because you're like, what didn't I see? What did I miss? And there's an INFJ. Then here comes the NITI loop. You'll blame yourself, like, I missed something. Oh, what did I do? I'm a stupid love-struck fool. What red flags did I ignore? Like, and sometimes, the person was honest about who they are. So the issue wasn't you or the person who was getting you to open up. It was influenced by third parties. And that can throw INFJs for a loop, because we're kind of like, if I'm interested in somebody and they're interested in me, the only thing that matters is how we feel. Like, because to an INFJ, that's it. I've said that in other videos. If an INFJ is interested in somebody, it's all about that person. They don't care. We don't care what other people think. And we forget that other people do care, because because we're into very independent people and a tendency to be loners a large amount of the time. So the idea of, oh, I really like this person, but what will the group think? Will I get group approval? To us, it's like, why is that important? I don't understand. Let me think. Now my head hurts and I still don't understand. So it's something to be aware of. So if you are somebody else, a non-INFJ, who's pursuing an INFJ, you have to be aware that an INFJ has probably had these experiences, and it makes them less inclined to open up, and that, yes, they're going to be very cautious, and yes, they're going to ask you, some weird questions potentially before they allow themselves to truly fall for you. And you have to understand, it's not personal. It's coming from the INFJ's past experiences that we don't want to repeat, experiences that in some cases made no sense. The last girl I took out a couple of weeks ago didn't like it when I said, so do you have a friend who's in love with you who runs your whole life? And she laughed, and I'm like, can I make a joke? I need to know this. I need to know this before I let my guard down. I have to know. It's it's a imperative question to earn my trust. And she didn't like it, but I had to do it, because it's like, history must not repeat itself. Never again. Yeah, like I said, you get bad experiences. We're pretty good at not letting it repeat again. But yes, trust issues unfortunately get worse with age because the more bad experiences an INFJ has, the more things we're potentially looking out for because we don't want to repeat those same situations. We notice patterns and we avoid them when they're bad. So trust your intuition. If you notice something's reminding you of something bad in your past, remember what happened the last time and remember to ask the questions you didn't ask or didn't think to ask the last time around. And remember, just be honest and upfront, INFJs, about who you are and what you want. That's what integrity is. People can't handle that, then they're most likely not the right person for you or any other INFJ.